Stevie, I know the Johnson family does Halloween big. So when you're taking your kids, if you take them trick or treating, when they're not looking, what candy are you swiping from them?
I'm going for the Mambas. I'm a Mamba man. I love those Mamba candies, and I like Reese's. I like Reese's also. What you
What are
going for?
Mambas?
The
I don't
Mambas
know.
like the square sweet candies, or they got the sour Mambas, and it's like chewy. You guys,
Okay, okay.
yeah, they look kind of like Starburst, but more block form. And you remember the Bazooka bubble gums?
Yeah.
And actually, no, those were flat. It's Bubblicious. Remember the Bubblicious?
Yeah. Oh, the big, thick.
Yeah, yeah. Those are kind of how Mambas feel in a sense.
So kind of like now and later, I guess, in a little bit.
More high chew.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, like a high chew. I like, but the Mamba's got the different flavors, and it comes with variety packs. So one pack might have 3 different flavors in it. A pack of 4 or 5, you know. So I love the Mambas.
Do you charge a dad tax when your kids go trick or treating?
You come on now, it's only right. It's only right. We dad tax everything, everything. It's only right.
As it should be. For
Yeah.
me, it's anything sour. Like if it's sour, I'm gonna like it. If it has sugar in it, I'm probably gonna like it. Except for Reese's, I don't like peanut butter, and people
Oh,
always get mad at me for that.
wow. Yeah, man, I survived off peanut butter in junior college. I'm not gonna lie, like straight out the cup. You know what I'm saying? But I
Life
heard
would have been
peanut
a
butter
lot
not.
easier
Yeah, I
in
heard it's not
college if
good
I
for you
liked
though.
it.
I heard peanut butter not good for you supposedly with the mucus. Yeah,
Really?
that's what I heard. You know, I don't want anybody to go diving into. You know what I mean? That let's see what happens. But yeah, I heard it's supposed to be something with the mucus.
There you go. So don't eat peanut butter this Halloween. And if you are a dad, tax your children. Shane, hit it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Bill's Banter with Stevie Johnson and Michael F. Florio.
Fitzpatrick fires. Oh, caught! Steve Johnson! Touchdown, Buffalo! Why so serious?
The sickest Buffalo Bills podcast.
Allen will run it himself. He pumps. Got some daylight. Hurdles to the end zone.
It's gonna be sick.
Guru, we back, baby, with another one. We're back with another one. It's time to banter.
Well, look, like last week, we were like, all right, this one feels like the Bills should hand. This is, look, the game of the year, right? Like, I know I said at the beginning of the year, I thought Bills Ravens was the biggest game of the year, but now we're here in Chiefs week again, and this might be bigger.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a thriller. You know, we've seen this year in and year out for the past 5 seasons. I mean, every single game has been down to the wire, either winning by a possession or 13 seconds, you know what I'm saying, situations. And then it lately is come down, in my opinion, to the coaching. You know, it's the coaching battle. We know the players are able to play in any destination, whether you're on the road or whether you're away. Both teams show up. But which coach is going to adjust? Guru, that's where I'm at. Is Brady going to adjust to Spags' blitz and his pressure and his blitz and situational tendencies? We'll see. That's what I'm most interested in.
I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. I put it out on Twitter. I said I think the biggest difference between Mahomes and Allen is the coaching staff and the players around him that has led to him having more playoff success. But the other thing, and I think this goes to coaching, I think the Chiefs, I don't want to say hold back, but I think they keep some stuff in their back pocket for the playoffs, whereas I think the Bills go kind of all out to win in the regular season.
Man, you know what? I don't think so. I don't think so. I just think that when the Chiefs call their plays, most of them aren't developing all the way through to where they're giving things away. Mahomes is savvy enough to get the ball out to a Kelsey, who's also savvy enough to understand, I don't need to run this full route. I could just get it right now. And that pushes the team up and down the field. And people don't really understand it because it wasn't a full play, you know?
Yeah.
So they can still utilize that play later on when they do get max protection, and then they really carry on with whatever it is. The Bills need to take advantage of that more as opposed to waiting for the deep play, you know, or the big play. Utilize the underneath, or just utilize the run game. That's what you see is kind of changing the game with the Kansas City Chiefs is Kareem Hunt has been playing powerful. He's been running downhill, and also Pacheco, he's woken up. So, that's opened things up for Travis Kelce because the defense condensed. So it's all a game within a game, and Kansas City is definitely playing it. Not to mention on the defensive side.
Yeah, Spags is, I would say, maybe the best defensive coordinator ever. Like,
yeah,
no one's won more.
Yeah, he take them chances, right? Like,
which I love.
Right? Yeah, you compete. That you got to compete, and sometimes the other team will make the play, sometimes they won't. But if you sit back, we've seen what happened when you sit back. You get picked apart or you lose those games. But when you compete, your player might get beat, but will they make the play? And that's what we all love to see, and that's why this game is so entertaining. And it comes down to it.
And when you have a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes, I feel like you should be more aggressive on defense because those guys are okay. You guy messes up, you give up a touchdown, 15 or 17 could go out and get you one. I think you should be a little bit more aggressive. The one thing I did want to say about this game that I think is very different from past years. In past years, it was always like these are the top two teams or like whatever. They have the divisions locked up. Both of these teams are in dogfights for their divisions this year, and whichever team loses is going to walk out no longer favored to win their division. So forget about the 1 seed in the AFC. That's obviously still on the line as well, and that always is on the line when these two teams meet up. But hosting a home playoff game might be on the line this weekend.
Yeah, if you looking into that part of it, then yeah. But like I was saying earlier, like these guys, it don't matter if they're at Arrowhead or if they're at Highmark. Both teams are going to bring it, and it's going to be a battle. So at this point, last year getting the 1 seed was a pretty thing and was a thing that we would have wanted to benefit on, but it really didn't matter at the end of the day. It just comes down to which coach is going to be prepared, which coach is going to prepare his players to be ready for those situations or those tendencies. As we know, like we said, everybody knows Spags will bring that pressure and he takes those risks. So the Bills got to be prepared for it. And that's going to be the evolution for this team that I'm looking at throughout the rest of this season.
And one thing I've said a lot this week, Stevie, and look, the MVP race is always the first half of the season. It's always every week it's a different name. Baker Mayfield's in it for a bit. People have thrown out Daniel Jones. I think Jonathan Taylor should be the leader in the clubhouse, but otherwise it is Mahomes 1, Allen 2. So I think whichever quarterback walks off the field victorious on Sunday is the clear-cut MVP favorite heading into the second half.
Man, and I don't even think that's fair, because you don't put Daniel Jones in there, who they got a 7-1 record, and then off top, I'm with you, Guru, as far as it should be Jonathan Taylor. Let's give it to a running back, because imagine if the Buffalo Bills just continue to feed Cook how he is, he would dang near have 2,000 with maybe 4 or 5 games to go in the season. And then should we be giving it to a running back? But so to say, Allen and Mahomes, I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest, because it's just like, man, let's change it up. Let's change. It was pretty cool. Here's something, Guru. Deion Dawkins, I think he got like lineman of the year, or did he enter a category where it was something like that?
So this year they're doing a new award, Protector of the Year, and Dawkins is the one who was like, linemen should get awards as well.
Yeah, and I feel like they got to change it up or add more significant awards, just in favor of the running backs, because any team that got a running game, they're at the top of the list. They're the catalyst. Is the running game is going to open up everything else. Yet when you're talking MVP, you rarely talking about the Saquon or in this opinion, Jonathan Taylor or James Cook, because they're the most valuable player other than the guy who's obviously calling the plays. They're naturally the MVPs, but we got to do something else about this.
I'm not trying to disrespect Daniel Jones. He's playing great. I do think Jonathan Taylor is the cat. We've seen 2 really good Daniel Jones seasons. One came with Saquon, one came with Jonathan Taylor at their best. I think that you could speak on it more, but I just think it makes life so much easier for the passing game when the entire defense is worrying about the guy in the backfield.
Yeah, not to mention their defense is playing good also.
Yeah,
they're very opportunistic, and yeah, like just to speak on that, with Daniel Jones not getting the respect or the credit, I would say, for having a stout running game and a great defense, plus a coach, a great coach, in Coach Shane. I mean, he had a bad season last year, but I know Coach Shane with being in San Diego Chargers, and the
great
thing with
offensive mind.
Yeah, and the thing with Daniel Jones is he's a manager. He's a manager, and he's managed his team to a 7-1 record. It was the same thing with Jalen Hurts. He wasn't the playmaker, elite guy, all the MVP talk. He was a manager of the game, and when he manages the game, what happens? He's got a Super Bowl ring. So that's why I'm kind of seeing the bigger picture now after witnessing all the glitz and the glamour of what our guy J.A. can do. Now it's time to just manage the game, let the dogs do all the work, and you sit back and enjoy that,
Yeah, and it's no surprise. These teams have met, I think it's 9 times since 2020. Yeah. So, like, it's almost like a divisional opponent. And
Indeed.
You hear all the time when divisional opponents match up and stuff, like, these teams don't like each other. They know each other so well. How different is a game when you're going up against a team that knows you that well?
It's more fun, because ultimately we're competitors. If it was easy, like, yeah, that'd be cool, but it's not. At the end of the day, I don't even want to make up anything. It's not easy. So we know that it's hard. We know it's gonna be difficult. Now you put us against a person who knows our moves and some of our tendencies. Now, that's what gives you that edge. Like, okay, is it gonna work right now or not? And am I gonna be physical to get through it if it doesn't work? Or am I gonna still be finesse? If you finesse, I'm telling you, you don't have the edge. I was just in Buffalo this past week, and big shout out to the Saberhood and all the Sabres out there,
dude. Shout out to you as well. The Bills and the Sabres in the same month, like that is dope.
Yes, brother,
legend everywhere you go.
Dude, yeah, it's such a blessing though. Such a blessing to be in that community, even just to have the life and the whole story and history behind it. It's so pure. But what I was getting to was the Sabres and the Columbus Blue Jackets. The finesse and the skills was even to high level, but Columbus had more grit. They were more physical, and that ultimately edged out the Sabres. And it's the same way on the football field. You can, even though it's a physical game, yeah, both teams are like that. But some teams are more illegal. Some teams are more physical, you know what I'm saying? And it makes a difference. And that's what the Buffalo Bills is showing right now. But can they show it against this Kansas City team? And that's through coaching, because the coaches can hold back, right? We was talking with Don Mookie. James Cook wasn't in the game the crucial times last year, and that's a decision on the coach, not the player. So, yeah, we'll see what the coaches can do this go around.
Stevie, I wanted to ask you, because I have a lot of thoughts on this. Bills Chiefs is huge every time these teams match up. But does this look, and I know I've already said it means a lot for the MVP and for the division and the potential number 1 seed and all of that. But does this game feel different for you, Bills Chiefs wise? Because every year where they meet in the regular season, I'm like, this is the year, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, until they do it in the playoffs, I don't care what happens when they meet in the regular season.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you on that. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you just block. But no, I mean, that's exactly how we feel. We know we're most likely going to meet up with these guys somewhere down the road when it really matters. So right now it's just a measuring stick. It's a measuring stick game. And when I say that, again, it's not for the players. It's for the coaches, in particular, the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator. We'll see how he be able to manage this offense through this Kansas City week.
And Stevie, I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this before the show. I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. But I don't know if you've seen what has transpired this week with Keon Coleman.
Yeah.
With Steve Smith going on, colleague of mine at NFL Network. Steve is phenomenal when it comes to breaking down wide receivers and stuff. But he went on his pod and said that Keon is not the guy, that he's getting jammed, a whole bunch of stuff. Keon tweeted the crying emoji, the laughing crying emoji, and then was asked about it today and said he had no comment. He wasn't addressing it. If if Keon is watching right now, and he really might be, what would you say to him? He's a young wide receiver going through it right now?
Yeah, and I would say like it's a part of it. You gotta love it, because you never know how the end of this book is gonna turn out. Remember Jerry Rice? He started off his career missing catches too, and he ended up becoming the greatest. Set the tone for GOAT status. People like Steve Smith. Keon's somewhat young. He may know him, he may not. He probably don't even know me. But Steve Smith was a guy who was small, only come in for special teams, and that's all you're going to do. And he ended up becoming a number one receiver, not only a finesse receiver, a small, fast guy, but he was a physical one, and he wore it on his sleeve. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand where he's coming from when he's throwing these challenges out there, as a receiver of his caliber, and then understanding the mentality that he had, also a junior college guy, came from nothing. You feel me? So he represented all that. Like, what's up, man? Throw me the ball or fix it. You know what I mean? That's what he represents. I don't all the way agree with him as far as saying you can't teach a dog how to bark or what. That's false. I've taught many kids how to be dogs, how to become dogs, but you got to put them in fire. You got to put them in the fire and kind of groom them in a sense, not hold their hand, but you got to groom them the right way. And this definitely can be done, but Keon is in a position where it's not in his control. It's not in his control to say or to demand and command the ball. He's actually handling it how people would expect A.J. Brown to handle it in Philadelphia. You on a Super Bowl winning team. You on a great team with Josh Allen. You got Cook. You got y'all Showtime out there. You know what I mean? You can deal with we know you're not getting a high volume of reps so that you can display. You also not on a losing franchise. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference with Keon, where it's unfair. And then when you talk about plays, he's getting jammed up. Let's address that. Yeah, you're not gonna win every single one unless you me. I even lost some. But at the end of the day, you got to be taught certain things in the role that he's being put in with the routes that he has. Is not for playmaking. It's not for playmaking. It's for I have other guys that need to soften it up and get it underneath so that when that don't work, I'll be open over the top later. It's not for sit back and drop back and wait. Okay, now we go try to get it to you. That's what Cam Newton had to go through playing with the receivers he was playing with, which gives Steve Smith another reason to talk how he was talking, because he wasn't like special at getting separation either. He was a dog to where just throw it to me and you better throw it to me. And then he made it happen, no matter what. I'm going this way, I'm going to grab you. And he made it happen. So, it's just different because Steve Smith didn't come into a Super Bowl winning team. He had to be a dog to get them to that. Keon is coming into the life of luxury, But if you gave him a volume amount of balls, I guarantee you he'll do well. It was just unfortunate when you did give him a pass that was low air time, it fumbled on that play. Yeah. Then they went away from it. It's like you can't go away from it. You got to keep going. Like that shit, that happens. That happens. So yeah, it's not fair, but it is fair because it'll wake him up if he understand the challenge that's being put in front of him. And it's not even a challenge. I would say I wouldn't even address it as a challenge. He can't do much about it. He can't do much about it right now in that offense.
And speaking of that, I say this a lot on this pod, man, and I hope they do it this week. Get him involved early. Just give him on your opening drive a target or two just to get out of his head right now, just to make it about football again, and just to get him involved and give him a chance. And Keon, again, if you are listening, there is one way you could shut the entire world up this week. Go out and do your thing, right? Like if he puts up week 1 type numbers against the Chiefs, no one is going to be saying this in a week from now. I've been pretty vocal on it, Stevie. I do think Keon has the capabilities to be a really good wide receiver in the league. I just don't think he's always been in the best use. Like, I think he would thrive as a big slot right now, but Shakir's one of the best slot receivers in the NFL. So you can't really do that. So
yeah, no, you can. Look, it's 3 hours of football. You can
that is very true.
You feel me? You can put them in the slot at any time. And it's just about demanding the ball or coach telling them, hey, hitch right there. Just once you running around, hey, you burst out, they turn around and then look for the ball. And I'm going to get it to you right now. That's stuff that him and Josh, that's stuff that me and Fitz, that's stuff that, you know what I'm saying, AJ and Jalen actually have a rapport of. AJ just want to see more of it throughout the regular season. And Jalen like, bro, I'll get it to you when I need to, for real. So just like, let me just do this. But I'm going to try to feed you. I'm going to try to force feed you now just so that you can be happy. But whatever. I don't know exactly what those conversations are like. But it's just a great comparison, you know, with Keon and AJ and their situations. But the only difference with Keon, the only way that he's going to be able to change it is through coaching, unfortunately. And hopefully they can realize, let me get it to him faster and let him just do the rest.
You think someone else on this team needs to be challenged, right? Like if we're going to our favorite segment, I feel like this is a natural talking point then.
Shane, hit it.
Why so serious?
Okay, now it's time to get serious. Why so serious segment of the week? I'm going with Josh Allen. I'm going to challenge Josh Allen to challenge his playmakers to be more alert. I was watching the Carolina Panthers game, and it's easy to look over this stuff because we blew them out 40-9 or whatever it was. And, you know, he didn't throw it well. But no, we can't overlook this stuff. There was times where Josh said he seemed like he was unsettled in the pocket. However, sometimes his players was not alert when there was blitz situations. Now, if the Carolina Panthers can get a blitz by you and you're not prepared as a tight end or a slot receiver, imagine going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. You're really not going to be prepared. So you can't depend on the coaches to get you prepared for everything, to hold your hand. You got to get connected with your quarterback. So I'm going to challenge Josh Allen to challenge his guys to be more alert in pressure situations. Cut your routes off. Give me your eyes. You know, talk to me before the snap count go on. You know, don't be a robot up there. You know, read it. There's so much that can be taken advantage of, but you got to challenge your boys.
I think you hit the nail on the head there because I actually was reading something earlier today that said in the last 5 years, Josh Allen is like, if not the best, he's like top 3 every year in like success against pressure. And this year, it's way down. I don't think Josh Allen suddenly stopped being good or something like that. I think there's been a lot of changes in this offense, and they need to get back to what they have been previously.
So, yeah. So Stephon Diggs, let's think about it now. When you get a guy that commands the ball in a sense, a natural dog, you know what I mean? 4th rounder, 5th rounder, whatever Stephon was, you know, he was looking for the ball early and often. I'm open now. Look, I'm going to take this guy. I'm open now. And then Josh is easy with just flicking it right out to him. And Diggs was, of course, a little more faster. So he was a little further down the field at some routes. So, yeah, it looked like he was more intermediate, but he was killing things underneath. That's what you still have to do with Khalil Shakir, with Curtis Samuels, with Keon Coleman, James Cook even. You know, you got guys to do it, but you just letting these plays develop too much. And in the past, it wasn't like that. You was getting the ball out faster. Another thing, Guru, Gabe Davis. His plays were all big bombs and big plays downfield. Why? Because Diggs was killing them underneath. He was hitting, and Josh was hitting Dawson Knox. You know what I'm saying? Then it opened up Gabe Davis on the back, on the corners, on the post, or you know what I'm saying, on those routes. But you gotta soften them up underneath and take advantage of those pressure situations.
Speaking of Gabe Davis, they activated him this week. I don't know if we're gonna see him back the first week. He's activated to the practice squad. But
Guru, if Max Harrison was out there, I didn't expect him to be out there. So I think Gabe Davis might be a go.
Him and Allen have it. I think it's easier too because he knows this offense and him and Josh have the chemistry so much that like it's not like he's a new guy just getting practice for the first time.
Right, exactly. That makes a lot of sense. And that's why I'm expecting him to be out there. Again, I didn't expect Max Harrison to be playing this early and to be moving how he is. He's got that energy and that spunk about him. You can see it. I was talking with him at the hockey game, and he's just full of like that young energy and that pride, you know. And I think also with Mike Hoyt, talking with Hoyt.
He was a game changer.
Yeah, like that was huge considering Ed Oliver's going down. To not put in a lot of pressure on Deion Walker, you have to utilize Hoyt's versatility. He can play everywhere, and he is ready. That guy is ready. I really look forward to seeing him step it up.
I did want to ask you this, and again, I'm kind of throwing this at you without telling you in advance, but I trust your eye a lot when you're watching the film and stuff like that. Do you think the Bills struggle to scheme up guys open downfield? Because I think that's kind of part of the problem.
See, I don't think they have a problem scheming up downfield. It's just there's ways to do it. You know, if you don't have the guy that's go either kill them off the line when they play in press, or the guy who has the Devontae Smith type speed or whatnot, you know, then you can't really be sitting back there waiting for a 6-step drop. Because that's putting too much pressure on your offensive line. And it's like, man, it's a 50-50 ball, you know, when you're doing that, when you're only planning to go downfield. You got to soften them up. How did we see Brady get his downfield passes? How was he the best hitting the seam? Because they killed it underneath all day. Only person that you can say can go up top is Randy Moss without doing anything underneath. Hey, if you want to go do a post or go with anything, just Randy Moss is the guy. But anything else, you got to soften them up underneath, and then you take the top off.
And it brings me to the next point I want to make, because I think that a big part of the problem is the personnel that's there. Like you said, you need to be able to win underneath to win downfield, but I don't think they have, like, Josh Palmer his absence is huge because he's the guy who could get downfield the best of all of them, but your offense shouldn't crater if Josh Palmer's out, you know, like.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
Stevie, I got to get a couple things off my chest, and then you could tell me if you think I'm being a reactionary fan or if there's something to this. But State of the Union is what I'm saying it is, because after this week, we're halfway through the season.
Yeah.
I think these next 2 months are the most pivotal time for the Bills since I have become a fan in the early 2000s. Because look, maybe they win this week, they get a wide receiver, they cruise to the division, the Super Bowl, and this looks ridiculous in hindsight. But I think if they fail to reach the Super Bowl, changes need to be made, because to me, it feels like we are getting further from the goal than closer. So, and a big part of it is some investments that haven't paid off. Curtis Samuel, by the end of the year, will have made $16 million as a Buffalo Bill. He has 45 touches to his name so far. Keon Coleman, I think he can get better, but he is struggling. Meanwhile, Ladd McConkey is balling out. Xavier Worthy is contributing. Dalton Kincaid is a good tight end. Not sure he's lived up to that first-round billing. Dawson Knox struggling to live up to that contract because of all the rotational pieces they do on defense. At the tight end position. On defense, so many resources go into it year in and year out. This year, every draft pick and every signing, basically, besides Josh Palmer, went into the defense. I know they re-signed Cook and Allen, but everything else went into the defense, and they're not a top 10 defense right now, statistically. The roster, in my opinion, has more holes than it has the last couple of years. We're counting on players like Jordan Poyer and Jordan Phillips, who should be contributors, I think, to be like routine starters out there right now. And I know injuries have a part of that, but this Bills defense for years has struggled to stay healthy. And since the Super Bowl window opened in 2020, McDermott and Bean have not been able to get over that hump. We know that. But again, to me, it feels like they're more vulnerable now than they ever have been in the last 5 years. It's like the Chiefs are the only team that I felt like could get them. Now there's a number of teams that I'm feeling a little bit fearful of. But the bigger point is I think you only get so many bites at the apple. Next season, Josh Allen's going to be 30 years old. You still have time. There's still a few years in his prime, but that window went from being super wide to narrowing each and every year that you don't get there. Bean and McDermott have had 6 years now after this season in Josh Allen's prime to try and get over that hump. I think if they fail this year, it's no hard feelings. It's just that you have to strike while the window is open in Josh Allen's prime. And if these guys can't do it within the first 6 years, I think it's time for someone else to get an opportunity to see if they can.
Hey, you make some great points right there. I love it. I'm just not all the way on the wagon with that. I say keep them and continue work. Yep, continue to work through it. If you don't make it this year, you got to think you got James Cook for another 4 years.
Yeah,
you still got a young Keon Coleman. Hopefully they keep him and they don't do anything with getting rid of him. You still got him to grow, and then you go have again Josh Allen, he's evolving from playmaker to manager. So he's going to at some point he's going to snap out of it and challenge these playmakers around him to be prepared, be alert, because they're facing me and I'm looking at this blitz coming and I'm still looking at the back of your head, so I need you to wake up, brother, and not be too buddy with them. And that will change things. That will get Samuel more touches because Josh will be like, all right, enough of this, guys. Enough of this, whatever we're putting out here, and when it comes to the defense, okay, injuries happen. One health injuries happen. Now that's all around the league. So we got guys that's fillers that we're expecting to be, big time role players on the front line and in the secondary line with the linebackers. As far as DBs, that's the thing where it's like in years past, we've had guys that the world would know. Oh, you got Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. That's a duo that everybody knew around the league. Now you got Taylor Rapp, you got a young Cole Bishop who's learned. You got guys that the world is trying to figure out and see who's good. And at the same time, they ran into the best running game in week one, very healthy. Do we need to start over again on how they ran into all the healthy running games?
Yeah.
So to still be in attack mode is very good for me when I watch the Buffalo Bills defense being who they are, who they have out there, guys that's earning their name. Again, why I say this Kansas City Chiefs game is big, not for the players, but for the coaches. Similar to what you're saying, you're putting them on the hot seat, and that's fair. You should put them on the hot seat, especially if they're going to continue to show the same tendencies when going up against a pressure defense and you're not adjusting your players to be prepared. Then I understand firing from that level, but I wouldn't go as far as Bean and McDermott splitting. We just got to either get new assistants in there or new OCs and DCs.
I will say I've been hard on McDermott over the years. I think the Bills defense has struggled to rise to the occasion in the playoffs. But these last 2 years, I'm side-eyeing Brandon Bean right now. And I'm like, a lot of these investments you've made on the offensive end haven't lived up to expectations. But I do think there's a way they can alleviate it all, Stevie. Just like they got Amari Cooper last year. Go get a Chris Olave or a Rashid Shaheed or a Calvin Ridley, someone that could win outside, someone that could take the top off the defense. And if that happens, I'm back in fully. And I'm like, Super Bowl, we're going to the Super Bowl. But right now, I think that is a huge hole on this roster.
Man, I still don't see it as a whole. To be honest, I really don't see the players as a whole. Nobody's perfect, but I just feel like it's the scheme, the way you draw it up, the way you mentally get the message out to the guys. Like I said, you can go to my X post. The guys are running one route in pressure situations as if there's no such thing as hot routes. And is that being taught? You know what I mean? Is that just Brady's scheme where there are no hot routes or something? Are we being too, conceited to say our O-line is just beefed up and we're going to protect because they're going to protect Josh Allen? Like, you can't count on that, you can't count on that. And That's going to be the difference in these guys. That could kill all the receiver talk. You get it to Khalil. Imagine if Khalil Shakir had 50 catches, right? Who got the lead in catches in the NFL? If you can look that up for receivers. But now let's say you give Khalil the ball as much as Jamar Chase had it last year. How many broken tackle plays you gonna see from Khalil Shakir? Now you ain't even talking about we need a new receiver, And let's see what he got.
So Jamar Chase leads the league at 70. No one else has more than 56.
My goodness, that's crazy. 70.
Do you know who second is?
Crazy. 56. Travis Kelce. Oh wait, this is only receivers.
No. This is all positions. That's why, because it's Christian McCaffrey, which is why.
Oh, okay, yeah. So look at that. You know what I mean? Christian McCaffrey is about the same height as Khalil Shakir. You know what I'm saying? So if they can think about if they gave it to Cook too, because he's a baller too out the backfield. I used to watch him in college. Yeah, we don't even realize that.
Can you explain to me why they don't use Cook more? I know 2 years ago he had a couple of drops, right? He had a couple of drop touchdowns and stuff, but the dude is a weapon. You want to put the ball in his hand in space as much as possible. Yes. That's one thing I do not understand.
Look, the beauty of this is what coach has to understand. You utilize James Cook very early in the game, utilize Khalil Shakir very early in the game. Those guys will eventually get tired, and then you put pressure on guys like Ray Davis to play more and be more on it for his teammate until he gets in. And you got Ray Davis, who was also up for Heisman in college. So he's a dog, and he can catch it out the backfield. Same with Ty Johnson. But if you barely giving it to Cook and then you sitting them out, there's no energy for the next guy to be in and be like, all right, I'm doing something for the team. No, it's just my turn. Like, it's not the same feeling as, man, my dog tired. He was just out here laying it on the line. Let me go in here and let me be until he get ready. And you know what I'm saying? It's a whole different energy, and that's the difference between certain teams getting further than other teams do.
So that's the difference between fans and players, though. I'm kind of panicking a little bit. Stevie's like, they got the guys. They just gotta. I will say this though. Chris Olave's 4th in the NFL in catches.
Yeah. But, so how about that? So let's put Keon in New Orleans, and then we'll take Olave. I guarantee you, Olave will be getting the same ridicule that Keon is getting because his team is winning, and he's not getting the big plays because we don't necessarily need the big plays when you need to just give it to Khalil or hand it off to James Cook. And, Josh is connected with Dalton Kincaid and his tight ends. You put Keon in the New Orleans Saints team who's struggling. Spencer Rattler's trying to find a playmaker. They're going to get the ball out to him. Keon will have a very productive year, and nobody will be talking about Keon as a bust. They're like, this dude's a weapon. If only he can be with Josh Allen. It's like, nah, bro, it's different offenses and different mentalities and schemes.
Two things on that. One, on a different show we had insider Cameron Wolf on, and he did say the Bills have been making calls about wide receivers, but they're waiting for the prices to come down on some guys.
Fair.
Thing is, I know Amari Cooper helped the Bills. I'm not saying he didn't at all. But the Bills, after they traded for Amari Cooper, he had 300 yards in 8 games and 2 touchdowns, and then wasn't really much of a factor in the playoffs. What really changed, and it's to your point, Stevie, they started using Khalil Shakir a lot more after they got Amari Cooper. So maybe that's the simple change, right? Just start giving your best pass catcher the ball more.
Yeah, out of that first 15, because there's always a script of a first 15 plays, you should have at least 4 to 5 lined up for Khalil Shakir in a sense of 2 of those plays may get checked out to a run or something else, or to another play to somebody else. But he should be prepared for 5 possible attempts. And Khalil Shakir has shown the ability to make the most out of the least. So you have to continue to feed him. And then once the team see, oh, wait, Khalil Shakir's gotten 2 to 3 targets and catches already, now they're going to start looking out. Boom, you hit Keon with something over here, or Dalton, or you handed it off to James. I keep saying Josh. But yeah, you have the Bills have so many weapons. It's just about isolating that one guy first whether it be the James Cook or the Khalil Shakir. Those are the two guys that's most prepared. Feed them early and often, and everybody else will open up. Guarantee it.
Shakir has 3 games all year with more than 5 targets.
What?
Baltimore?
No way.
Baltimore, where they were trailing throughout. New England, which was back and forth. And then this past week, his long catch and run was the longest pass play the Bills have had all year. It was a 4-yard pass that he took 50 more yards. You know, that's why you put the ball. I heard Josh Allen said a quote after the game. He was like, I throw the ball to Shakir. I don't get to see what he does after. I just know he's doing something and he's going to gain more yards. Like, the whole world sees it. Give this guy more chances.
Give him the ball, you know. And a lot of people talk about height and stature and stuff, but it's like when you see Wes Welker get 99 catches, 110 catches in the season, he was 5'9". He was 5'9", but he was an ultimate gadget. He was an ultimate dog and competitor. And give me the ball now. I'm ready now. Look at it. Give me your eyes. We have that with Khalil. He is prepared. Even when Josh missed guys, Khalil was always giving his eyes or turning his head. You know, and Josh rarely missed, you know, when there's a pressure on him and he's not looking to get it out early before he takes off and bails everybody else out for making a mistake. Ultimately, he's just so nice. He's not calling nobody out. You know, that's why the Why So Serious, we challenge that. You know, and, even in Tennessee, we are partners with Cam Ward. I remember the clip with him challenging his coach. You know, like, come on, like, it's 4th down. Why are we not going for it? You know, you got to challenge guys, even if it's your peers or superiors, you know, because you have that, you understand what's going on. And Josh understands what's needed to get to the next level. And these guys got to catch up.
Were you that guy when you were playing?
Well, it wasn't on the field. It was more so in the film room. And that was taught. That was taught from Lee Evans, Josh Reed. Like, and then in college, Keenan Burton and Dickie Lyons, they were like technicians with film, and that slowed the game down. So when I realized how that helped, I was like getting yards without having to run complete routes because there was so much underneath that's just being ignored. You know, you just need to have that connection with the quarterback, though. And I was blessed to have a connection with Andre Woodson in college, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick, you know, to give me those underneath passes. And you know, I mean, how could I get past Richard Sherman on a double move? Because they're thinking I'm gonna run this underneath route, this 5-yard hitch that I've been eating them up with all day, hitch or slant or underneath or something, and then I make it look like that, and boom, I'm over the top. You know,
look, the Bills could use a receiver. We got one right here. I mean,
man, something.
So
just
Stevie,
watch the Bills banter.
If Bills fans are wondering your thoughts, right? It's Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I don't know. Are Bills fans happy and celebrating, or are they upset?
Yeah, I'm going to challenge Brady to give the ball to James Cook. Let James cook, and I believe the Buffalo Bills players and the community is going to be happy. We've seen what that guy can do, and then if they do try to shut him down, continue to feed Khalil. You know, I believe we're going to see either an evolution out of Josh Allen, or we're going to walk out of this game and be worried like, dang, does this team have the dog in them? You know, is their leader, did he put his dog away because he won the MVP? Or is he still that same gritty playmaker that we know? However, not the playmaker putting on the cape, the playmaker, the manager, the evolved playmaker, where he's forcing guys to wake up. Come on, I need you. I need your eyes. I need you right now. You know, hey, check. You see this guy creeping right here. You know, hey, slot guy on my left side. You can see that there's a pressure over here. So I need you to not run the seam route, run that hitch, because the guy over you is playing 8 yards deep. You feel me? Don't run to him. Turn around and give me your eyes, because I can get it to you now. That's what I need Josh to get to and challenge his players to, and the Buffalo Bills will be A-okay.
I've gone back and forth a lot this week. I think it goes one of two ways. I think we get a Josh masterclass and the Bills win and we're all feeling good. An offensive masterclass, I should say. Josh, James Cook, Shakir, all Coleman, everyone getting involved and kind of being like, okay, they do have these pieces. Or I think they go out and they lose. And we're wondering, like you said, Stevie, do they have the capability to go on a run and stuff? And I think they make a move then for a wide receiver. And I do think they go on a run, win the division, because I kind of want that, because whoever wins in the regular season, the other team wins in the playoffs in this. And if the Chiefs beat the Bills in the regular season in Buffalo, everyone will write them off whenever they meet in the playoffs again and say this is just going to get to 0-5 and this is what happens. And I think that would be the one that the Bills steal.
Man, look, so I thought about this though, Guru. We got some returning linebackers.
Yeah,
Matt
that's
Milano
big.
should be returning, and Bernard is coming back. So that's huge for us. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing them guys come back if they are.
No
all
Pacheco?
back. Yeah. Oh, there's no Pacheco also, huh?
It's looking very unlikely like that he's going to play.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and they're down a running back. You know, he's an energizer. Pacheco, he brings that power. He brings that energy. You know,
he runs like he's angry at the grass. I always say.
Indeed. And I think that's a big loss right there, considering we got two starting guys coming back.
One name I'm going to throw out there that, look, everyone knows the Chiefs' names, right? Rashee Rice, and Rashee Rice is the game changer for this offense. But everyone knows the Kelce's and Hunt and Brashard Smith, 7th round rookie running back. He has juice like Kareem Hunt doesn't have, and he is a weapon out of the pass game. He could be their new Jerick McKinnon, and they haven't really used him yet. That to me is scary.
Wow, that's a good one. I'll be looking out for him. I'll definitely be looking out for him. Because they definitely go and the Kansas City Chiefs utilize their playmakers a lot, you know, and that's one thing that, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing if Coach Brady will take advantage of. I like what Coach Babish has done the past game against the Carolina Panthers as far as moving his DBs up in press situations. That's so beneficial, and going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to need that. They're going to need to press up and get physical with these guys. You know, take some chances playing man and sending that blitz. And I think that's going to help out eliminating pressure on. Eliminating the time for Mahomes to have in a pocket.
I think the Bills could learn from the Chiefs, by the way, because the Chiefs aren't killing people down. In fact, in the last 2 weeks, I don't think a single player has 100 air. Don't quote me on it, but I believe not in the 2 games combined. I don't think a single player's reached 100 air yards. It's not like they're heaving the ball downfield. They just have a lot of guys who could win underneath. They have a lot of yak monsters and like Rashee Rice and Kelce and Worthy. And I think the Bills could learn from that.
Exactly. Dude, I've been saying that for the past few years. Like, it's what Mahomes and Kelce have is exactly what Josh and Kincaid should have been doing when Kincaid was a rookie. Get the ball out to him earlier, not stop having them run these routes and trying to stick and go. Just turn around, brother, and I'm gonna get you the ball and go run. You know, that's it. That is literally it.
And Stevie, I know. Well, first of all, we gotta shout out our sponsors, Cigar Mafia. Last week you were able to light one up after a Bills victory.
Yes,
you got it ready now. I hope that you get to light it up on Sunday.
Yeah,
but
definitely. Man.
Everyone needs to head over to cigarmafia.com, right?
Indeed, www.cigarmafia.com. You can get it in Amherst, downtown Buffalo, or Orchard Park. Let's see if you can scan the QR code right here, just in case y'all want to screenshot that. Boom, and he's got all types of deals on there for you. More than cigars, you know. Again, we got memorabilia, we got caps, lighters, we got bags, all types of things for you. And we got some more special things coming up throughout the season.
And also, like, I know you got some products too, like the Why So Serious hats and stuff.
Yeah.
Where can people get those?
Yeah, so shout out to Bills fans of OC. So yeah, you can get on social media on the X Bills fans of OC. Shout out to our Orange County Bills backers. We got something special going on too, as far as creating a taste of Orange County. Yeah, big shout out to Cruisers. You know, they took care of us, bomb food. The environment was unbelievable. We got on the water, so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back out there. And they said they loved you out there, Flo.
Hey, you let me know you're doing another watch party out there. I'll be there.
Yeah, for sure. That's our hometown now. That's our home spot.
It's also very convenient because it's about as far for each of us. So
Right.
like it's kind of right in the middle. Like what's better than that?
Exactly. It works out just right. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reconnecting and doing more in that town. We think about some scavenger hunts, going to some different bar hops, and yeah, just having fun with the community. That's what we do.
A Bills bar hop would be a lot of fun.
Right.
That would
Right.
be a good time.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
Also, so fantasy, right?
Let's get into that because I got a few messages, but what's going on? What's going on?
So the trade, well, first, it didn't work. The Bills winning. Stevie wins every week. You had a great week. You unfortunately ran into the highest scorer of the week, which just sometimes is bad luck in fantasy. You know, there's nothing you could do about it.
Right.
This week you are playing the 2-6 like a good neighbors, which is Salah, but we had a trade go down this week.
Yeah,
and it was questionable at best. It
It
was
up the league. I know it had my phone ringing too. What?
It was Justin Jefferson 1-for-1 for Tez Johnson. So yeah,
together. Are they working together or something?
So that I wrote immediately. I was like, wait, I'm sorry, what? But then it was our boy Drew, who friend of the show was on.
Buckets made a play,
and he messaged me right after, and he was like, "People are really upset." He goes, "I just want to set the record straight. I had zero prior knowledge of this. I got sent the trade. I hit accept." So I don't think Drew did anything.
Must know something then.
Yeah, Drew did nothing wrong, right? It's not like he just got the trade offer. He said Margot has a plan and it was all her idea because I think it was something with like buys still coming up and schedule. Look, it's a bad trade on its face. Like it's a terrible trade. No offense, Margot.
She might be honest because I got hit with buys too. I ended up missing the week with my defense and the kicker because I didn't stay on the buy, and she might be on to something.
But I'm a big believer, Stevie, in fantasy. I only veto trades if we found out they're working together. Okay, I'm not letting that trade go through. But I'm a big believer in you let people run their teams the way they want to run it. And if that means you'd rather have Tez Johnson than Justin, like, should you have asked for more? Yes. But
yeah,
I said in the league that we would decide on this show what we do. So Stevie, this is you set up this league, right? What do you think we should do?
You know what? Considering the teams and the managers that's in the league and in this situation, they've all been honorable. So I will let it. I will let it slide.
I agree.
Let it slide.
If we found out they're working together, that's different. But if Margot thinks Tez Johnson is going to outscore Justin Jefferson the rest of the way, I'll call her crazy, but I'm not going to not let her run her team the way she wants,
She says she got a plan, bye weeks do hit, and it's a little bit different.
The funny part is Tez Johnson is on bye this week.
Yeah, this is the sacrifice. That's the sacrifice. There's always a sacrifice in something, and this is probably the week of the sacrifice before it starts rolling. And
Tez can play.
Yeah,
he's in a good offense.
Yeah, he can get volume at any time. At any time, he can break out. But the thing with me that made me think a little bit about it is why not ask for more?
That's the part. You get a whole lot more than Tez Johnson.
Right, and then that makes me think about who else is in the other manager, Mr. Buckets, and he's shown nothing but honor. So it's a fair trade. Fair trade.
It's a league for charity and stuff like that. It's not like we're playing for a ton of money and it's cutthroat or everyone is here to have fun and stuff like that. And if that means that Drew might win this league now, I don't like it. I'm going to try my best to stop him because I want it to be me winning the league. Stevie, you're going to do the same thing. Yes. Yeah. You're going to be trying your best not to make it be Drew, but as long as it's if it's collusion and we find out at the end of the year that they work together or something, maybe then something gets done. But Drew messaged me immediately and he was like, "Yo, I just want to set the record straight. I'm not working like I was sent this trade.
Interesting.
And to be honest, from Drew's point of view, he would have been crazy not to accept it.
Yeah, for real. So with Justin Jefferson and Tez being a trade, would you give up Kamara for any kind of defense or no?
I wouldn't trade for a defense personally because I'm a big believer in like streaming defenses. So I would go look to see a team that's has like maybe a good matchup this week and then go that way.
Okay.
But I do think shopping Kamara is smart with the fact that the Saints might blow it up. He's been struggling a bit, but he's still a huge name, so you'll get value for him.
Okay, solid. Yeah, I'll tell a friend you said so.
Yeah. So, but Stevie, I think you're gonna get off you're facing a 2-6 team. I think their team is named after Malik Neighbors. I'm guessing they lost Malik Neighbors. So I think there's a good opportunity for you to get back in the W column this week.
Yeah. Tonight we got Lamar Jackson's back from that hamstring, so we'll see how he's moving. Since Lamar been out, I've been taking L's, so hopefully L come back and then we get the W's. We'll see how I go tonight though on Thursday night.
Speaking of Lamar, he's a Miami kid, close to Miami,
Mm-hmm.
South Florida kid. This is his first time, I think, playing in South Florida.
Really? Yeah. So hopefully he go crazy.
Did that matter to you? Like going back home to California when the Bills went out west, like was that a bigger game to you than normal?
Well, again, like you personally, it feels like it, but again, schematically, that don't matter to the coaches if you're not in the offense, we're just getting thrown to you, And at the same time, although Fitz did look out for me, I still didn't demand the ball, like how I should have in a sense, and that was all because of the time that I was in, seventh rounder. You don't really speak out like that, you kind of get what you can and make the most of it. And but if let's say I was more, give me the ball now. I know I'm always gonna be open down here in the goal line. It should be the only thing about me. Let's get 5 touchdowns. It would have been like that a long time ago. So personally, I can go back to San Francisco and be like, I'm about to dog them out if I know I got that command. But if you don't, you just like, yeah, hopefully I can go crazy. Maybe I won't say too much because I don't know. If I'm gonna get as many targets or reps, But with Lamar Jackson being a quarterback, he got the ball all the time, so he make a decision.
I do think the league has changed a little bit in the sense of they don't go out of their way for it, but we will see coaches bring in a certain player on the goal line or something like that when they're going back home or they're facing an old team or something like that. Like the Bills did it with Elijah Moore against the Jets this year. I also think fans are more siding with the players when the players are demanding the ball more. Like when AJ Brown was saying it, everyone was like, he's right. Like you should be giving him the ball more. So that to me is just one big difference, I think, from when you played. But if you could go back and demand the ball more, would you?
Yeah, I would, considering it ain't like we was like I just got a stat. I was on the TSN network, and we was 1-11 against the Patriots. So it's like, why wasn't I like I was mad and frustrated because I wasn't getting the ball a lot and I couldn't really just like demand it and get my point across how I needed to. And look at what it got. You know what I mean? Like imagine if I was demanding it more, we probably would have beat them more. Who knows? In those matchups, the AJ Browns. If I was in the AJ Brown offense, like when we were in the Super Bowls and et cetera, and you don't really need to demand it, then nah, it's cool. Just get what you can, and when your time is called, you'll be prepared and be ready for it. Just depends on the type of team. And in my situation, I definitely could have and probably should have demanded even more.
I think back to those teams and I'm like, look, they had other good players on it, but you were the top. So like, I don't understand why they just didn't naturally scheme up more plays for you.
Yeah. And, we had a good, and Coach Gailey was good. He was really good at having his play calls and the sets and stuff. So it was good, but it was still one of those things where it was still a running team. Or they wanted to utilize Freddie and CJ, and like with the passing game at that time, we was getting the ball like, third down, third and longs or whatever. It wasn't really like at a higher clip as it is now. It was kind of maybe getting to that, but you only seen that with Wes Welker, Andre Johnson. It was more particular to those guys that either looked the part or you was getting it at a high clip like Wes Welker. He didn't look the part, but he was getting the ball a lot. Not even Ocho, who, it's. I don't know. It was just, I don't know.
I used to have a lot of debates with people, and I'd be like, look, don't look at the stats, man. Like, you put up numbers as well, but I'd always be like, Stevie on any team, you could move him around the field. Like, he's just a weapon. That's what he is. So, that was always my thought.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like some of those games, maybe we was down and they was starting to throw it. Who knows? Like against the Seahawks, I had like 140 something, eight catches, and it's like it's only because we was losing. Why don't we just do this all the time though? Or why aren't teams coming out in 2-minute mode? They wait all game to come out 2-minute mode, then they move it down the field like so easy.
I don't understand that at all. I don't. Yeah, the Bills don't have any urgency this year on offense. Like go hurry up sometimes, mix it up.
Man, have some fun. Go be tired, bro. Like. I'm telling you, James Cook can run for 400 yards probably and not even be tired.
He ran for 2-something the other day and was like, I feel like I could play another game right now. Like,
dude, and that's what the game has evolved to. So utilize him. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing Coach Brady do. Is he going to sit his guy down or is he going to utilize James Cook and let him just be?
Last point I'll make is I just want them to get a little bit more creative, right? Like I know Josh was saying the other day, his grandma wants to see him smile again, and then he had some fun. But there's no trickery in this off, and I don't think they need to rely on that. But every once in a while, just do something a little fun,
Well, what do you mean by that? Not that end around. I hope you're not talking about bringing that.
No, none of that. But like, give me a flea flicker, give me something, Let one of your I want to see a skill position. I always say this too, man. Like let James Cook break, look like he's gonna run, or whichever one of your running backs you have the most confidence in throwing the ball. Make it look like it's a run play and let him throw it.
Yeah, that could be a good one too. Or you utilize Khalil Shakir with those screens, the quick screens where you get it back. Give him 5 of those. Now you throw it to him, and then he act like he gonna run. Then he throw it deep to whoever going across or on that phase. So but you got to be able to throw it to those underneath, get that underneath first so that you can bait them to get that flea flicker. And it doesn't only have to happen when we're losing. Like last year in Baltimore, we was down getting stomped out. Then, it's obvious we're going to do some type of trick play.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out, so it's just too obvious at that time to do it.
Did you ever throw a pass in the NFL?
Shakir? Oh, me? No,
Yeah.
I actually haven't thrown a pass. And the funny thing is I was a quarterback in high school. Yeah, I started off as a quarterback. Well, but the thing is, like, again, this goes to me not being as vocal. Like Fred Jackson was very vocal. Like at practice, he throwing the ball, he's showing off his arm and all that. So he was chose to do the throwing plays. And I was just like, it's whatever. If coach wanted me to, maybe they know my files, but closed mouths don't get fed is what I learned. And that's what my auntie told me and my mom.
But if you got asked, like if they went to you and they were like, are you confident that you could throw this ball downfield?
Yeah, because man, you gotta understand we're ultimate gamers. And yes, I'm up for the challenge. If it don't happen, hey, it didn't happen, but we know it didn't happen. But yeah, I'm definitely up for the challenge. I feel like I can throw and connect with my teammate. Just throwing catch.
The funny part is I think if they went up to you and were like, can you play D tackle? You'd be like, yeah. I can.
Yeah, yes, bro. Look, I was the defensive end. That was my position in high school.
There you go.
This rover. This ain't nothing but rover. Read the ball, go get the ball. Like, come on.
You played D end and quarterback in high school?
D end and quarterback, number 21. Showtime.
When did you start playing receiver then?
College. I didn't play wide receiver until I got to junior college.
That is mind blowing.
Yeah.
For the technician that you are as a route runner.
Brother.
Like,
that's why I understand the game. That's why I understand how to create space from anywhere, because I had to learn this so fast and it was my back against the wall. Like I went to junior college. That's the last chance that you go get to make it to the next level is junior college. So you better learn how to level up. And that's what I did. I learned how to use basketball moves and receiver routes, and I learned how to compete with the best of the best out in the Bay Area and in Oakland and Hayward area, and that got me ready for Kentucky because I took that skill set that I learned there, and I brought it to the Division I area where those kids couldn't keep up with me either with basketball moves and stuff. But when I got there, it wasn't that I couldn't get space. It was I couldn't read the defense, So I had to learn another thing at Division I, which was film study. And that's where Keenan Burton and Dickie Lyons came in, and DeMario Ford helped a lot with me watching film and understanding how to read defenses on the move and what wins and versus certain defenses, and that all happened. I didn't know none of that in junior college, none of that.
That's mind blowing to me.
Yeah, and then from there, it was like you get drafted, and in the league, I had to get back to the basketball thing. I went to the league in my first like rookie camps and combined camp with everybody, and I was running regular routes because I thought I couldn't use my basketball moves because coaches wasn't teaching that, and I'm in the pros now, so I can't be messing around. I got locked up by Leotis McKelvin. I didn't really get locked up, but he was like white on rice on me. He was on my back on a comeback, and the hitch, he was there. I'm like, dude, this is crazy. This dude either fast as hell or I'm just I'm not gonna make it. This is gonna be too hard. So I remember making a conscious decision, like, forget it, I ain't got no choice, bro. I'm just gonna go back to running my basketball routes. And then I did it. They was lost. I wasn't getting no credit from nobody, but I did get credit from the vets. Terrence McGee, George Wilson, who else was over there? Brian Scott. And they all was just like, your feet, your footwork, bro. Like, what are you doing? And that's when I was like, yeah, I got it. And then Drayton Florence came in later. And so it's like every level you just learn, you got to learn something. If you think you go stay the same and just keep it, you go get caught up. Somebody go catch up to you, or your spot go get taken, or injuries go happen, and you go, have to work too extra hard. You got to really be on it, man. It was a blessing, Guru.
Dude, that story is incredible. And I know you're an author. You have a lot of children's books out there. You ever think about writing like an autobiography or like
interesting?
This is how you could make it in the NFL, kind of as a receiver.
Man, you just sparked my mind on that, man.
Because this story is incredible.
Yeah, because it's so much, dude. It's so freaking much that people might think players control. Nah, bro. My wife saved me from not making it, literally, and she's not the only one. Like, I got a best friend in Zach, but like I was ready to tap out in Kentucky. Like, they not playing me. They lied to me, talking about you go play this and that, and and I went there. We getting blown out by Louisville and Eric Wood, laughing and stuff, and I'm not playing at all. And I'm like, man, I'm out here. I'm about to get off this bus, and I'm going to Duquesne College. I just want to go there with my old teammate from junior college and just play football. I don't want to sit here and lose and not play in only 1 minute in the game. She said, I'm not picking you up. You go sit there and you go figure it out. You know what I mean? I had to figure it out. And look, a lot of things happened, bro. It's so much. So maybe I have to get to that. Maybe some.
I think so, man. Because I'm sitting here just like literally, I would have never. And I thought I was like, I know Stevie pretty well, but I never would have thought that you didn't play wide receiver until you got to college. Like,
yeah, nope, not until I got to college. In my high school, I mean, not my high school. In my junior college quarterback was Damian Lillard's older brother, Houston Lillard. So he was junior college first year. Then he transferred down the road to the college Laney that was on Last Chance U. It was green and white.
Okay, yeah.
And we met each other in a championship the year too. He ended up getting the win, which I was happy for him because they played him out. He should have been our quarterback. But that was a pretty cool thing. That was a good time though. Learned a lot from guys out there. There's a guy named Marlon Haynes. A lot of people don't know about. Paul Simpson was my teammates, and I learned a lot of my wiggle moves and erky jerk moves and how to be smooth and stuff through playing with guys like Paul and Marlon, guys that the world don't know, but they was like that.
Last thing, I know you said you ever thought about hooping? Because it sounds like you were a pretty good basketball player as well.
Yeah, so they got a center called the Johnson Center in Kentucky at the university. That was my spot. And let all the guys on the team, we go there playing intramurals, or we just pull up there as we was, staying on campus. And I always said that it was named after me. The Johnson Center was named after me, but it wasn't really named after me. No.
Was Kentucky the basketball powerhouse then that they became?
Not I wouldn't say powerhouse. They still was getting the recruits but when I first got there, Rondo was leaving. So
okay.
And then my second year.
So pre-Calipari.
Pre-Calipari, yeah, because I think 2 years after is when Calipari got in. So yeah.
Got you. They were so good in basketball that I hated them because it was every year it was just like Kentucky's gonna take it.
Who was your team? UCLA?
Syracuse. I'm a Syracuse.
Oh, Syracuse.
Guy.
Okay, yeah. So y'all had boys. Johnny Flynn from Niagara Falls.
That was my guy.
Yeah, he was a dog. I like watching McNamara. Yeah, he was
Melo,
nice.
obviously.
Melo.
Like
y'all had, was it Hakeem Ward there?
Yeah.
That zone. I like watching that team. Melo was one of my favorite guys.
They never locked up Kentucky and Syracuse, but there was a stretch where Cuse was like national title contenders, and number one every year was always Kentucky. And it was just like, but they never actually got the chance.
Wow, that's interesting. They never played. Huh? I've never seen the orange versus the blue except Tennessee.
Yeah. But I feel like we kind of got off topic a little bit, but look, that was awesome, man. And our listeners now know your story even better.
Man, yeah, that was some good banter right there. We definitely bantered a lot. Community should enjoy that.
Any final words for the people before maybe the biggest game of the regular season for the Bills?
Yeah, brush your teeth after you eat that candy. Hey, this is the Sick Podcast. Hey, this is Bills Banter. Thank you for your time, and stay tuned for next week's show. All right?
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Bills Banter on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.